Your body isn't supposed to be able to drink milk. Not as an adult. Almost no other mammal on Earth can. A dog can't, a cat can't, even most humans alive today can't. But you probably can. And the reason why is written into a single gene that didn't even exist 10,000 years ago. Somewhere in Europe, a genetic accident happened, one that should have done nothing. Instead, it rewrote who got to survive. The people who had it could drink milk their whole lives. The people who didn't got sick every time they tried. That one mutation spread so fast, so hard, that scientists call it one of the strongest cases of evolution ever recorded in humans. And it's still inside you right now, deciding what happens the next time you pour a glass. Strictly speaking, the gene was already there. The accident was the switch beside it. Babies keep that switch on because milk is baby food. The sugar in it is called lactose. Your small intestine needs lactase to break it. Then childhood ends, and in most bodies, lactase shuts down. That is the normal mammal setting. Dogs don't keep nursing forever. Cats don't either. Most humans don't. If milk wrecks your stomach, you're not broken. You're closer to the old design. So why did your ancestors cross that line? Because they had animals. By the 8th millennium BC, people in Southwest Asia had cattle. They had sheep and goats. Suddenly, an animal wasn't only meat. Kill it and you got one feast. Milk it and food came back again. That changed everything. A cow became a living pantry. A goat became water with calories. When grain failed, milk still appeared. That was too useful to ignore. The proof is trapped in pottery. In northwestern Anatolia, a 2008 study tested more than 2,200 vessels. Fat had soaked into the clay. Milk left a chemical fingerprint. By the 7th millennium BC, dairy was there. The Balkans showed the same trail. A broken pot became a confession. And the pots are only the beginning. The deeper this goes, the stranger it gets, until you reach a battlefield where grown warriors still weren't ready for a cup. First, Central Europe got the habit. Early farmers called LBK moved in. Their pots had banded designs. In the 54th century BC, their pottery already held dairy fat. Milk arrived with farming. It wasn't a later luxury. They were milking while their genes lagged behind. That is the twist. The body wasn't ready. The culture was. So they didn't always drink it fresh. They changed it. They heated it. They soured it. They strained it. They drained off the whey. The curds stayed behind. Most lactose went with the watery part. Cheese was not a snack. It was a survival hack. In Neolithic Poland, broken pots were full of holes. One archaeologist looked at them and saw strainers. Decades later, chemical tests found milk fat. The holes were doing work. By the 6th millennium BC, people were making milk safer. Cheese traveled better than milk. Butter kept fat longer. Fermented milk was gentler on the gut. Your fridge still uses this trick. Yogurt, cheese, kefir. Their milk made less dangerous. So the first answer is simple. Humans didn't adapt first. They processed first. And Europe wasn't alone. The Sahara used to be greener. At Takarkori rock shelter in Libya, pots from the 5th millennium BC held dairy fat. The rock art showed cattle. The chemistry showed milk. Those herders were not copying Europe. They had their own milk problem. In East Africa, DNA found different switches, not the European one. The same pressure hit different people. Their bodies answered in different ways. If you handle milk, you're living inside one version of that answer. Now look at the switch itself. The main European mutation sits near LCT. It hides inside MCM6. It doesn't build lactase. It holds the light on. That tiny change keeps lactase flowing. Lactose gets broken apart. Sugar enters the blood. Nothing dramatic happens. Without the switch, lactose keeps moving. It reaches the colon. Bacteria find a feast. Gas builds. Water gets pulled in. Then comes diarrhea. On an ordinary day, that's miserable. In famine, it's dangerous. During infection, it can kill. Now go to the Tollens Valley. Around 1250 BC, warriors died there in a violent clash. Researchers tested DNA from 14 of them. Only 7.1% carried the milk switch. Today, Northern Europe is famous for digesting milk. Back then, most of those warriors couldn't. A man could carry a spear, fight on a battlefield, and still be unprepared for fresh milk. That means the spread was recent. Ancient DNA points to the last 4,000 years. Scientists estimate selection near 6%. For human evolution, that's not slow change. That's a sprint. But extra calories alone didn't explain it. In 2022, researchers mapped prehistoric milk use. They used about 7,000 pottery fat residues from more than 550 sites. Milk use alone didn't match the genetic explosion. Famine fit better. Crowded settlements and disease fit better too. When crops failed, the herd could still give liquid calories. If you had the switch, that milk stayed inside you. If you didn't, your gut could turn on you. You lost water when you needed it most, and in a sick village, there was no clean bathroom waiting. One bad winter could decide a bloodline. Milk didn't need to save you every morning. It only had to save your child once. Some families kept the calories down, some lost them. That sounds cold, but it's also the warmer part of the story. These people weren't fools drinking poison. They were learning their own bodies. They broke pots into tools. They turned rot into fermentation. They turned herds into safety nets. They fed children when fields failed. They kept animals alive instead of killing them. A cow was no longer just food. It was a relationship. A goat was not just meat, it was a wager on tomorrow. Then culture pressed on the genome. The habit came first. The mutation followed. Animals changed because humans pinned them. Humans changed because animals fed them. So when you pour milk now and nothing happens, that silence is not normal. It's rare inheritance. Humans didn't wait until their bodies were ready. They drank it first. They invented cheese. They survived famine. They buried the unlucky. And over thousands of years, culture reached into the genome and flipped a switch most mammals never flip. The glass in your hand is not ordinary. It's hunger, herds, broken pots, and one old switch still working.